Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to for the first time. My name is Angela and I find my paradise through reading. And today I wanted to share about big books. I like big books and I cannot lie. You other readers can't deny. No, I'm just kidding. No, and the reason I wanted to talk about big books is because right now I am reading Les Miserables. Okay, this book is 1,300 pages long. This is a beast. And I am about 510 pages into this. And when people see me reading this, they're like, oh my gosh, I could never read like a big book like that. Why would you read something like that? And I don't know. To me, I'm like, big books are great. They're like a journey, I guess. I love that some of the books that are like super big, and I'm talking about books that are over 500 pages. When I'm talking about big books, that's what I'm talking about. Anything over 500 pages is pretty hefty and it's a commitment. And I like it because I feel like it's a journey and I'm going on this journey with the characters. The characters have more time to develop, and generally like you're watching them grow and develop, and you get attached to them, and because it's so long, you're spending so much time with them. I mean, it's not like you're sitting with this book for 2 to 4 hours and it's done in like a day or in a weekend. Like, you're spending time with these people every day or frequently over the course of weeks, months. So when you finish the book, like, you really you miss the characters, and these big books, they become friends. So I grabbed some of my big books just to share with you some of them. So I have Scarlet, which is the sequel to Gone with the Wind. Okay, this was a big one, about 850 pages long and I read this when I was like 14 years old, and I had read Gone with the Wind. I borrowed this book from my aunt, and I just slowly just read it and really, really loved it. And then my mom was preparing us to move to Puerto Rico, and so when she did, I grabbed this book and I actually finished it while I was in Puerto Rico. But yeah, I have a lot of memories with this book, and it was really special. Here's one. This is Werewolves, Kelly Armstrong. Okay, this one is 770 pages. This is actually a trilogy. So it's 3 books in one, but looking at it just as one single book, it's a big one. I had only read like the first book of the trilogy, and I just absolutely love it. I want to finish it, not this year, the next year, because this is fantastic. Oh, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This is 1,050 some pages, and I haven't read this one yet. I've read a very, very summarized version in French. So I am absolutely excited and cannot wait to read this one. This is also, I'm pretty sure, in my 100 greatest books ever written. So this is going to be read. Oh my gosh. This one, The Priory of the Orange Tree. Look at this guy. Come on. And this is about 800 and some pages, and this book was an adventure from beginning to end. I didn't want this book to end. I didn't. God, this is like one of my favorite fantasy books. this was such a great time, and it did not feel like it was as big and hefty as, I mean, when I was carrying this around, people were like, are you seriously reading that? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then there was the sequel, The Day of Fallen Night. This was about 850 pages. Okay, same thing. Oh my gosh, it was a fun experience, so adventurous, so much going on. And again, like, the length of the book was just right because you didn't want to miss anything. You didn't want to miss anything. This was so good. And then I have, everything's gonna fall. Okay. Then we have The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams. And this is, I think, a whole bunch of the books all together. And so this one is 814 pages long. This was a surprise. I had never heard of this. I didn't know who this author was. I kind of started reading, and like on page 1, I was just cracking up, and I was like, what the heck is the craziness of this book? And instantly it was a hit, and I went and flew straight through it because it was so fun and funny and entertaining and wacky. It was all over the place. Okay. So there is like no reason to fear big books. So I'm gonna share a couple tips on overcoming your big book fear, if that's what you have. Okay, I jotted some down so I wouldn't forget here. All right, set daily reading goals. And I've done that sometimes. I'm doing that with Les Miserables. And your daily reading goal can be time or pages or chapters. So if you want to break it down by, okay, I'm going to read 1 hour a day, you're just going to make that kind of progress. And of course, you're not limited to that 1 hour. If you're really into it, by all means, keep reading, right? Because you'll probably very much surprise yourself. Or it could be by pages. If a book is 1,300 pages, you can do like, well, I'm going to read 50 pages a day or 100 pages a day, or whatever you feel comfortable with. And same with the time goal. You don't have to stop. Once you reach that 50 pages, if you want to keep reading, go for it. Or you can break it down by chapter. You can read 1 chapter a day. And so if a book has 50 chapters, you read 1 chapter a day, you'll finish the book in 50 days. So like examples that I have here for like a 1,000-page book, okay? If you read 10 pages a day, people, that's totally doable. 10 pages a day, you will complete the book in less than 3.5 months. And if you read 3 pages a day, you can complete it in less than a year, just 3 pages. So that's just like the power of consistency and a little bit at a time, and you will get it read. So obviously, if you're not enjoying the book, unless it's mandatory or whatever, stop reading it. DNF it, because you don't want to associate big books with an awful chore. Fortunately for me, all of these big books, I absolutely loved, and it was a joy and a pleasure, and I didn't want them to end. But if I do get to a big book where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to read this, I'm gonna stop reading it, because reading is a joy. Except, at least for me, because my goal is to read the 100 greatest books ever written. Whether I like it or not, I will kind of power through and be done with it, and check it off my list. One thing that I have heard was that people tend to overrate, give big books higher ratings, almost because it seems like even though they didn't enjoy it as much, they're going to tend to rate it higher because they don't want to feel like they wasted that much time on it. And that's a shame. you know? So it's, hey, if it's a huge book and you read the whole thing and it was garbage, mark it as garbage. Hey, you know, people need to know. Don't overrate big books just because. And a couple things that I think are really neat about reading big books is like, it kind of gives you bragging rights, right? You know, it's kind of like a feather in your cap. You have that feeling of accomplishment. And you're like, yeah, I'm walking around with this massive behemoth of a book and I'm reading this. And yeah. um, so those are my tips for you today. And I'm going to leave you. I actually made this outfit. It's a dress. I'm going to stand up a little bit. But I made this dress, so I'm going to leave you with just a quick video of when I was making the dress and dancing around, dancing around in it. So thank you so much for joining me and spending time and talking about books, big books. And yeah, if you like this video and want to see more videos like it, you can comment, like, subscribe. Bye.